City Council was held in City Council chambers on Thursday, February 27th, 2014, at 7 p.m. for the purpose of transacting any and all business. Notice of this meeting was posted on February 20, 2014 at 5 p.m. This meeting is being taped and is live on SATV. I please ask that anyone who has a cell phone in the audience, please turn the vibrate, please. Thank you. Councilor Sargent is not with us tonight. He is absent. Everyone else is here. Council President presiding. I ask that we join Councilor Gerard in the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I also jumped ahead. Council Fury asked for this move to dispense the reading of the previous record. All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you. Public testimony. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 people on the list tonight for public testimony. The first one is Christian Forster. Christian, good speakers. You're going to allow? You're going to pass. You're going to allow? Thank you. The next person up is T.Z. Riley Geiger.
T.C. Riley Garden, 9 Wisteria Street. First, I want to thank the Ordinance License and Legal Affairs for taking another look at the ordinance that was brought in pertaining to the appointment of a new director of the Council on Aging. It was one of semantics. There was only a few words here or there, but it definitely did make a difference. To that committee, I say thank you. I am better satisfied with it now, and let's hope once it's put in place and the new director is in place, that it all works out just fine. One thing I can't say how much I like the job right now is because I do not know what it's going to cost us. And I always say, before I decide how much I like something, what does this cost? And I don't know if you people know what the cost is going to be, but if you do, the sooner you share it with me, the better I'll sleep at night. The other thing I'm interested too, speaking of money, is the proposed increase in Mayor Kim Driscoll's salary. There is no mayor that deserves an increase more than Kim Driscoll. She is one of the hardest working mayors that we have on our shore. But, big but, I honestly believe that a 20% increase is quite a whack, so to speak, at one time. I believe that if it is going to be put into effect, then it should be over a 4-year period. Now, I know it probably will not go in this year, but I feel that a 5-5-5-5 is a better way of handling. There is no one that I know of that gets a 20% increase overall. I look at some of the people in this city, not just seniors, but the younger people also. I look at the people sitting before me right now, and I want to know, is there any one of you that has had a 20% increase at any given time? And if you have, just raise your hand. You don't even have to speak. Is there anyone in this council tonight that's had a 20% increase? So I say to you, council, please think twice before you put it forward. Thank you.
Mr. Ken Zawicki.
Thank you. My name is Kenneth A. Sawicki. I live at 40 School Street. The first matter that I'd like to address is what I was confronted with in the past, and that is a rule is a rule. When it's applied fairly, no exceptions. 2 councilors are banished trying to enforce this rule. When the mayor failed to sign in, then further breaking the rules to repeatedly introduce an issue that was addressed and could not come before the city council again until the next session. Our mayor set the tone for breaking rules when she first took office, breaking her own rule for hiring administrative staff. A request for a suspension of the rules are often granted when the city council wants to hear from someone. In my case, a member of the public is denied. When the time allotted is for public testimony, and you don't want to hear from someone, disappointingly, without even asking what the matter was. This rule is being used as a form of censorship. No one, even the President of the United States, has any more right to freedom of speech than any average citizen. This rule should allow for more open exchange of ideas. I thank once again the 5 councilors that voted in favor. It was a vote for freedom of speech. Those 5 councilors honored their oath of office. Mr. Legault, Mr. Epley, Mr. McCarthy, Mr. Siegel, and Mr. Sargent. Thank you. Our next issue. Now I will read what I prepared for the January 23rd meeting. I will read it unrevised. Please be mindful of that. Then I will give an update. I hear the word initiative used, but I don't see anyone taking the initiative to act. It's the 50th anniversary of the war on poverty. The gap between the rich and the poor has widened each year and every year. We live now with a recession which began in December 2007. I've heard no one say it has ended. The bailout of those at the top, at the center of the problem, where crooks and fools were rewarded for failure. America's work ethic suffers when jobs are lost to foreign competition. The lower levels of our society may never see a recovery of any kind before still another downturn in our economy. Trickle-down Reaganomics does not work. The words of empathy and compassion were spoken at the inauguration January 6th, but falls on deaf ears. A man who turns a blind eye on those in need, that she failed to recognize that a good public school system is the lifeblood of the city. Where is the tax relief for our senior citizens on fixed incomes? Where are all the jobs for the citizens of Salem when you boast of nearly $1 billion of new development? Where is the housing for the homeless in the street? A shelter that no longer wants to be a shelter, that still turns people out in the cold without a meal as punishment. People banned from the shelter don't get noticed if policy is changed for a night to let them in. Recently, an alarm was sounded at the shelter. People needed to leave the property but couldn't because of a locked gate. The evacuation plan needs to be revised and the staff and guests notified. The winter with its coldest snow is upon us. As people are left to fend for themselves. If just to seek freedom and independence in the backwoods away from society that is all too eager to take both from you, where you won't find either at Lifebridge. 2 faced a life-threatening experience while trying to keep warm in a tent. One saved from injury and the other badly burned. He was one who sought work but couldn't find enough to make a living wage. He shoveled snow all day to make a buck, returned to the campsite tired and weary. He will soon be out of the rehabilitation where he is recovering from his burns. Who among you will act now before it's too late? Thank you. Now the update. Since that time, the executive director of Lifebridge, Mark Cody, has left under dubious circumstances, unlike the account by the Salem News. He left abruptly and without fanfare. That should tell you something. A reminder, Mark Cody, Mayor Kim Driscoll, and publisher Karen Andreas are all members of the Salem Partnership. The burn victim is out of rehabilitation, recovering nicely, and hopes to work again. His living arrangements have been unreliable. He's someone who is banned from Lifebridge. A 71-year-old man was banned from Lifebridge the Tuesday, one day before the snowstorm. He was banned for 1 week. The punishment doesn't fit the infraction. Since 2 more were asked to leave, and it's my understanding as of yesterday, I heard that the 71-year-old man was banned once again. When there was winter protocol, the rule was the shelter had to let people in when the temperature fell below 40 degrees. Now there's no indicator for people to know when they can come in out of the cold. One last matter. Compensation for the mayor. A 25% increase just 4 years ago, now a proposal of a 20% increase. When the salaries of the mayors are in line with all the various cities, PD declined an increase. A $20,000 increase when a full-time worker receiving minimum wage doesn't make $20,000 a year. Minimum wage is not a living wage. Efforts to increase the minimum wage languish, and if granted, call for small increments over a number of years. Senior citizens are lucky to get a small cost of living adjustment on their Social Security check. Our mayor would rather grab $20,000 for a second time than meet the needs of our school children, who were sent out to ask, can you spare a dime for our worthy cause? I have a free cup for the mayor. I don't see her name on the list for a permit to stand on a street corner. That's my 2 cents. Thank you, and God bless.
Mr. Scott Weisberg. So, please.
To the Honorable City Council, Salem City Council. My name is Scott Weisberg. I'm Chair of No Place for Hate Committee. Tonight I speak on behalf of our committee, and I'd first like to thank the entire City Council for the unanimous support of the proposed non-discrimination ordinance before both the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs, and during the first passage of the ordinance at the February 13th Council meeting. We would also like to special thanks to the Mayor Driscoll, Councilor Epley, Chairman O'Keefe, and the staff from both the Solicitor's Office and the Mayor's Office for their hard work and support throughout this process. Tonight, the No Place for Hate Committee strongly urges the Council to make history by voting to pass the proposed non-discrimination ordinance and unanimously send this ordinance to the Mayor's Office for signature. Over the last year, the No Place for Hate Committee researched and discovered that the City of Salem lacked a non-discrimination ordinance, unlike other Massachusetts communities. The city simply deferred to the state statute. We subsequently found that the state statutes proposed purposely omitted a key provision with regard to the protections against discrimination of the transgender community in the matter of public accommodations. In light of recent legislation proposed in Arizona and numerous other states, our committee is proud to see our mayor and the city council standing in strong support of the policy of non-discrimination. For our city to take this step and expand protection for the transgender community beyond that of our state statute, we will join 16 other states and only 4 other communities in Massachusetts. The first on the North Shore in taking this important historical step. But most importantly, the passage of this non-discrimination ordinance in Salem will welcome all people who visit, live, and work in our city, no matter who they are, where they're from, or who they're perceived to be. At the Oval Committee hearing on February 6th, we heard 2 hours of testimony from nearly 40 different Salem organizations and individuals in staunch support. I know we were all there, and that was just unbelievable what we heard that night. We believe that the mayor said it best about this broad and impressive Salem coalition, from for-profits to non-profits, from public commissions to private organizations, from elected officials to proud Salem residents. The testimony encompassed what Salem is all about: diversity, equality, dignity, and respect. As such, the Salem No Place for Hate Committee urges the City Council to do the right thing in passing this non-discrimination ordinance. Do the right thing in solidifying Salem's place on the forefront of equality. Do the right thing in cementing Salem's reputation as a leader of human rights and social justice. Pass this ordinance as a declaration of Salem champions diversity squarely in the forefront of our unfinished history. Our committee asked the council to codify this policy of non-discrimination tonight so the world will, so the world will know the city of Salem, Massachusetts is in fact no place for hate. Thank you.
Thank you. That's it for public testimony. Hearings.
Ordered, continued from the last meeting, National Grid to install conduits and remove poles on Bridge, Boston, and Goodview Streets.
Is there anybody in the chamber who would like to speak in favor of this petition? Please come to the microphone and identify yourself for the record, please. Hi.
Sabrina Fairsheen, for National Grid, for River Street, Beverly, Massachusetts. This is to accommodate service for the new facility going in at 4145 Bridge Street. And the poles are being removed because the facility will be too close to our lines.
Is there anyone else in the chamber who would like to speak in favor of this petition? Is there anyone in the chamber that would like to speak opposed? Councilor Epley.
I move for adoption.
And no questions, so we have to move the hearing closed first.
I move that the hearing be closed.
Councilor Epley moves that the hearing be closed. All those in favor, all those opposed? Councilor Epley,
Move for adoption?
as amended.
Yes.
Councilor Epley moves for adoption as amended. All those in favor, all those opposed? Thank you. Further hearings.
Ordered, continued from the last meeting, Comcast to install a conduit on Essex Street.
Is there anyone in the chamber that would like to speak in favor of this petition?
Good evening, my name is Tim Broderick, I'm with Comcast, 55 Concord Street, North Reading. Discuss tonight's petition, I'll read as follows. From the existing manhole at the corner of Essex Street and Barton Square, we'd like to place one 3-inch PVC conduit 55 feet plus or minus in the northeasterly direction to the property of 256 Essex Street to service that building.
Anyone else in the chamber would like to speak in favor of this petition? Anyone in this chamber who is opposed, would like to speak opposed? Any questions from any of the city councils? Seeing none.
We got to vote.
Oh, sorry. Council Legault.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To the Comcast representative, what kind of time frame are we looking at for this? It looks like you're actually going to probably, are you going to block off the street completely, or will it be one side at a time?
We'll have to follow the specifications of the town engineer. We did a job at 274 just before last year. I'm not exactly sure how they set it up, but whatever the specifications are from the DPW or the city engineer, we follow.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any further questions? Seeing none. Councilor Flamico.
I move that the public hearing be closed.
Councilor Flamico moves that the public hearing be closed. All those in favor? All those opposed? Councilor Flamico.
I move for approval.
Councilor Flamico moves for approval. All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you very much. Appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Robert Millerick, 4 Gallows Circle, to serve as a member of the Board of Assessors with a term to expire March 1st, 2017.
Councilor Epley.
Mr. President, I move for approval by roll call vote.
Councilor Epley moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion?
Yes, Mr. President. Bob Millerick is a resident of Ward 4. He has extensive experience within the commercial real estate lending area, and he would make a fine addition to the Board of Assessors.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none, on Councilor Epley's motion for confirmation by roll call vote, Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Epley?
Yes.
Councilor Flamico?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Gerard?
Yes.
Councilor Legault?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes.
Councilor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Councilor Siegel?
Yes.
Councilor Turiel?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes. On the matter of the appointment of Mr. Miller, did I get that right, correct? Thank you. 10 members voting, 1 member absent, 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative, and 1 member absent. The matter carries. Councilor Epley.
Mr. President, I ask for suspension of the rules to allow Mr. Millerick to address the chamber if he wishes.
Thank you. Seeing 3 hands. Thank you. Mr. Miller, would you like to address the council, please?
Good evening. Just want to thank the mayor for asking me to do this, an opportunity for me to do a little more for the city. Been a resident for about 25 years, been in commercial real estate for about the same. I have an MBA from Southern University and an undergraduate degree from Salem State College. Married, 2 children, 23 and 26. So I have a little bit more time to assist the board. So I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
President.
Oh, thank you.
Councilor Fury.
Point of privilege, please.
Sure.
If I may, could the City Council and the City Clerk send a city seal to former Councilor Don Bates for his great service on the Board of Assessors, please? Thank you.
So noted. Further appointments and reappointments.
Held from the last meeting, the mayor's appointment of Jacqueline Eng, 29 Fairmount Street, to serve as a member of the Cemetery Commission with a term to expire February 1st, 2016.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move to approve this and confirm by roll call vote.
Councilor Gerard moves for confirmation by roll call vote. Under discussion?
No discussion necessary. Well, actually, I just want to say that I think it would be a fantastic honor to have Jackie Ng on the cemetery commission, as she has worked as a florist and she owns a floral shop. That would add greatly to the beauty of our cemeteries.
Thank you. Council Fury.
I strongly concur with Councilor Gerard's view on Mrs. Ng serving on this board. She had very heavy shoes to fill, very difficult shoes to fill. Former Councilor Milo served on that board with distinction for many, many years. 15 years, Councilor Milo?
Yeah.
That's a long time. Thank you very much. And I think Jackie will do an outstanding job as a business person, a family member, active in the city of Salem. She's an outstanding nominee for this position. And I wish to thank Jackie for serving. Thank you. And Elaine for serving. Councilor.
Anyone else? Seeing none. On Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Counselor Epley?
Yes.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor Siegel?
Yes.
Counselor Turiel?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes. On the appointment of Jackie Ng to the Cemetery Commission, we have 10 members present, 1 member absent, 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative, and 1 absent. The matter carries. Councilor Gerard,
No further comment?
would you like to move to suspend the rules to allow Ms. Ng to address the council?
Yes?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Say 3 hands. Thank you. Ms. Ng, like to address the council, please?
Just want to thank you all for having me, and I am honored to be on this committee, so thank you very much.
Thank you. Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's appointment of Rosalie Velasquez to serve as the City of Salem's Director of Council on Aging with a term to expire January 31st, 2016.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Move that this nomination be postponed until the 13th, under the rules, 13th of March, 2014, so we can personally meet them, as she lives in my ward, and I would really like to see her and meet her.
On Councilor O'Keefe's motion, this matter be held under the rules. All those in favor, all opposed? Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Christopher Burke to serve as a constable with a term to expire on November 24th, 2014.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Move for receive matter of record.
Councilor O'Keefe moves that this matter be received and placed on file. All those in favor, all opposed? Further appointments and reappointments.
We have the mayor's reappointment of Antonio Vieira to serve as a constable with a term to expire on February 7th, 2017.
Councilor O'Keefe.
I move this reappointment be received and filed.
Councilor O'Keefe moves that this matter be received and placed on file. All those in favor, all opposed? Communications from the mayor.
We have an order, the City Council approves an acceptance of Mass Works Infrastructure Program funding in the amount of $1,275,000 for Grove Street Improvement Project.
Councilor Turiel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption.
Councilor Turiel moves for adoption. All on discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is a state grant from MassWorks in order to improve the entire roadwork in the Glover Hollow neighborhood. The city has had to put up $50,000 in matching funds in order to do this, and it's been provided by the developers of the project there. So this is entirely, this entire project comes out of non-property tax dollars. That's a major plus for us. So with all the developments that we have going on there, being able to get this money from the state in order to help deal with and improve the roadways in that area is something that's really a no-brainer for the city. And credit goes to our administration for being so good at being able to arrest these sort of grants for helping with development from the state.
Mr. President,
Councilor O'Keefe.
not being a member of the committee, I'd like to ask Councilor Turiel some questions. Approved? Is this a state agency, Mass Works? Who are they? First question.
Councilor, this is, as best I have, MassWorks is a state agency. I do not know all the deal behind this, and this is not something that, being that this is a grant from the state, not an appropriation, this has not been in committee. This is simply before us for adoption.
Councilor O'Keefe.
So it's taxpayers' money. It's gas tax money. It's good use of taxpayers' money. Well, and I got another question. You might as well stay up. In other words, we're going to, months ago, maybe years ago, I saw a proposal where we're going to, Goodyear Street is one way out of Salem. Now, will this make it we're going to create a new road behind that storage center down there to come out and make it two-way on Goodyear Street. Is that the same thing, Councilor? No? What's this going to do? All this money going to do there, then? There's a level of grade. There's a big difference between grades there. What's going to happen? Do you know? I mean, I'll just...
Councilman, not being engineering, not being city engineer or anything of the sort, I'm simply looking to, and this is money from whatever source the state has acquired, whether it is through transportation tax or whether it is through other, it's come from the state somehow or another, and come from the people of the state in some form or another, obviously. So that, because that's how money comes from the state. But that all being said, I do not know the details of the road plans that have been put together by the engineering department, the planning department, and all the like. I do know that they put plans together to do improvements to that area, and I do know that they were able to go to the state and get state money to do it rather than having to tap into the local budget to do it. So that's the matter at hand here.
Well, Mr. President. That's going to work.
One more question? One more?
I'll yield to Council Fury, senior member.
Council Legault.
Point of personal privilege. I think we're very lucky to have Rosemary O'Connor, who's been very instrumental in the Ward 6 Association here in the Chamber situation. I think she's very aware of what's going on, the improvements and so on. Could we ask the Rosemary to speak? Rosemary, would you consider speaking on the issue about the... It's been before the Ward 6 committee, I believe, and you've been very active. Give you credit.
Hey, could I ask for
suspension of the rules to allow her to speak?
Now you hold this minute. I'll give it back to you.
Same three hands. Rosemary.
Yeah.
Identify yourself for the record.
Rosemary O'Connor, 111 Mason Street.
Thank you.
This is to improve Grove Street. They're going to do a roundabout where that triangle is. Come up Grove Street. I think they're doing some widening there up to the they're going to do a roundabout there by the Moose, and to improve the traffic patterns there. It has nothing to do with Goodhue Street, Councilor. That's a separate thing. This is strictly Grove Street.
Question to Rosemary?
Councilor O'Keefe.
So, through you, Mr. President, a roundabout, you mean a rotary?
They call it a roundabout.
In England, they're called roundabout, right? This country, they're called rotaries? But, Mr. Chairman, through you to Mr. Terrell, Councilor, I wish you'd have all this information before that we could look at a map and see. I mean, I want to go for this, and I think it's a great thing, but I'd like to, Rosemary seems to know more about it than we do.
I can tell you one thing, at the Matt Park meeting in April, Lynn Duncan and the engineer.
Perfect.
Gary Ebert
I'll be there.
are going to be there.
Positively. I'll have a whole list of questions.
All right, bring them,
Thank you. All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. My colleagues, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You actually let Rosemary steal my thunder. I was going to explain the roundabout or the rotary. The plans are out there. They do exist. It's a circle. You could actually have seen those at the Ward 4 meeting last week. The Flintan site had that map available. It's a pretty good-looking plan, but I think there are plans down the road actually to do on Goodhue Street what Councilor O'Keefe was talking about, which is to make it two-way traffic. So thank you, Rosemary. Saved me all the effort.
Thank you.
And for the record, all of these plans came about through various public meetings and various discussions in front of the planning board about the various projects going on. This isn't something that just snuck up on us. This has been in the works for a number of years, and that's why we were able to apply for this grant. That's why we're moving to tonight, hopefully, so we can get this money, get these projects moving forward. It isn't like it just came about us in the last 2 weeks. These things have been in the works for a long time, so we need to just keep moving forward. Any discussion? Seeing none, Councilor Turriel's motion for adoption. All's in favor? All's opposed? Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order to authorize the mayor to convey a perpetual historic preservation restriction for the Dixon Memorial Chapel located at 57 Orange Street to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts Historical Commission as a stipulation of a Mass Preservation Projects Fund grant application to make improvements to the structure.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I am moving to adopt this order.
Council Gerard's moved for adoption by roll call vote. Under
By roll
discussion?
call vote, yes. Under discussion, this is actually something that, as a member of the Friends of Green Lawn, that we've been working on for some time to get the Dixon Chapel in the historic register, and this is one step in this process. And actually, if I may suspend the rules, I have the co-chair of the Friends of Green Lawn here, Pat Donahue, if I may ask her to speak. Thank you.
Just show of three hands. Ms. Donahue, being the co-chair of this wonderful undertaking.
We just said all three ladies get a chance to talk.
I wouldn't agree with that at all.
Thank you very much. Pam Donahue from Avon, Salem. I am Christine Lutz of Cabot Farm, co-chairs of the Friends of Green Lawn. We're only about 2 years old, and I think we've made great strides in bringing the importance and the wonderful treasure we have in Green Lawn Cemetery, and in particular, Dixon Chapel, Memorial Chapel, was built in 1893 by Mr. Walter Dixon, who was a wealthy manufacturer. He had a factory in Lynn, but he lived on Mason Street all his life. And this was, they never had children, and this is in memory of his wife. And he also was a generous benefactor in that he endowed a chair of history at Tufts University, which is still in existence. Our group has been very dedicated, and our ultimate goal is the National Register of Historic Places, all to bring about the awareness and also to be able to apply for historic funds, so that the Dixon Chapel is like Sleeping Beauty. It's waiting for the kiss to wake it up and bring it back to its wonderful structure inside and outside. So I hope all of you think of this as a great treasure in Salem that we need to take care of and improve. And I welcome all of you. We will be having another tour. We've had 2 tours, one in the summer and one in the fall. And I welcome you to come to the one we'll have in the summer again, so you'll all learn what a wonderful treasure we have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Council Siegel and Council Legault.
Okay, through you, Mr. President, I guess to City Councilor Gerard, who brought this in. I'm just looking at the paperwork, and I'm a little confused. I see we're looking for a grant, but is this a matching grant? We're going to have to put up $50,000 because it says in the paperwork here something about this matching grant will enable the city to.
That's a great question. Thank you, Mr. President. That's a great question. I'm not totally certain about that, to be honest.
Okay. Through you, Mr. President, I do have one more question. Do we know how much this project is going to cost? I realize we're going for $50,000, but and everything has to go through the Historic Commission. But if it does get put in the historic, if it is deemed historic, is this something that funds could come out of the CPA for?
Yes.
Okay.
It's been in the 12th. Well, yeah, go ahead.
Suspension of the rules, please.
Retroactive.
Joanne, special rules allow Joanne to address us.
Thank you very much. Joanne McCray, 386 Essex Street, and I'm a member of the Community Preservation Act. And just to answer the question, what you're doing is following the regulations of the state, that basically we, Commission approved unanimously for the Commission to submit the grant to us for approval, which they will now do because we had 14 that was one of the ones that we approved. So it's good of the city to have prepared it, and the CPA funds will be used as a matching grant.
Good.
Which is
Potential.
exactly what the CPA funding.
Perfect.
is looking to do.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Council Legault.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was going to say that the use of the term matching funds in the letter pretty well eliminates any confusion there. It is, in fact, a matching fund. I would like to thank the Friends of the Green Lawn Cemetery very much and encourage people in Salem that are not aware of what they do to contact them either on Facebook or online through the city website, because they do some great work, and that is a true treasure down there. That, on my third point I'm going to touch on here, is this is not the first time I've touched on this. I've heard it said many times that we as a city do not know how to take care of our properties. That's a fallacy. It's not the truth. We've chosen over the years not to take care of our properties. It's not because we can't. It's not because we don't know how. We've chosen not to for various reasons, most of it having to do with available monies. So it's not that we can't take care of properties. So I would certainly support this when the time comes, but my worry is that just like the fountain that we're talking about, repairing that, we're going to spend all this money, we're going to clean it up, and then we're going to let it fall apart again. And it shouldn't be up to the Friends of the Green Lawn Cemetery to take care of that property, but to push people to take care of that property. If we're going to spend money on repairing structures, parks, or anything, if we're going to spend our money doing that, then we need to make plans, viable plans, functional plans, plausible plans, to maintain those properties. We need to get away from this baloney that we don't know how to take care of them, because we certainly do. We just need to choose to do so. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, Councilor Gerard's motion that this matter be adopted by roll call vote. Madam City Clerk, will you please call the roll?
Councilor Epley?
Yes.
Councilor Famico?
Yes.
Councilor Fury?
Yes.
Councilor Gerard?
Yes.
Councilor Legault?
Yes.
Councilor Milo?
Yes.
Councilor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Councilor Siegel?
Yes.
Councilor Turiel?
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy?
Yes. On the matter of the authorize the mayor to convey a perpetual historic preservation for the Memorial Chapel, we have 10 members voting, 1 member absent. The vote is 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative, 1 absent. The matter carries. Further communications from the mayor.
We have an order, a petition for discontinuance of a portion of Union Street requested by MR Rocket Management Corporation.
Hearing ordered March 13th, 2014. Ladies informational page, none. Councilor Turrio.
Mr. President, I move that we address page 10, move to page 10 in our agenda for committee reports and take that out of order.
Councilor Turrio moves to move over to page 10 and take a committee report out of order. Seeing no objection, Councilor Turrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, the Committee on Administration and Finance, Co-Host Committee as a whole, has heard the matter of the mayor's compensation and increasing the amount to $120,000, has considered said matter and would recommend adoption.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor, all those opposed. On adoption of the recommendation, on discussion, Councilor Turrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is something that we have heard through both the Ordinance, License, and Legal Affairs Committee and the Administration and Finance Committee over the last several weeks. We've had extensive discussion on it, and frankly, Mr. President, there is nobody here within this body that I'm aware of that argues against any raise whatsoever for the mayor. There have been people who've had different numbers in mind for this, and also keeping in mind that this has been something that has not been addressed since the last time it was changed in 2010. So after much discussion of this, Councilor Siegel and Councilor Epley were vocal in the initial committee meeting that of increasing the amount to $120,000. And after looking at comparable, what the mayor does in this city and comparable salaries from around the region, as well as for the task at hand, the consensus of both committees was that this is an appropriate pay level to vote for the mayor. So that being said, I would urge the council as a whole to adopt the recommendation.
On adoption of the recommendation, under discussion? Seeing none? Oh, Councilor Legault.
Sorry about that, Mr. Chairman, but I do have something to say here. I'm not against this. I will support this, but I do want to make a couple of statements before we bring this up to vote. A lot of people make this a discussion about the current mayor. It's not a discussion about the current mayor, not at all. It's about what the mayor is going to be paid, not only this time, but down the road. Over the years, most sitting city councilors are hesitant to deal with this. Last year, we had a proposal in committee to raise the pay to $105,000. I was on that committee. There was a lot of discussion about building in a sequential increase. 5,000 one year, 5,000 another year. We talked about year to year during a term. We talked about maybe every other year during a term. We even had some discussions perhaps about having an increase for the next couple of terms in order to spread it out a little more fairly. Last year, I'm going to be a little bit critical here, and some people may get upset, was an election year. So nobody wanted to deal with a mayoral pay raise. That's only my opinion. You'd have to talk to all of the other councilors and ex-councilors about how true that is. But in my mind, that's why we didn't deal with the issue last year. It was an election year, pretty heated election year, and nobody wanted to deal with it. If we don't deal with this now, we won't deal with it next year, because it's going to be another election year. And then who knows who the new councilors are going to be, how many of us are going to be here or not be here through whatever the circumstances. Eventually, some council, some body has to stand up and do this and take the heat, deservedly so, for doing it. Other councilors over the years have chosen not to do it for their own reasons. This needs to be addressed. We should address it now. If we address it now, we won't have to address it for a while down the road. We don't know who the mayor is going to be 4 years from now. We don't know who the mayor is going to be 8 years from now. But this pay will be fair now. It'll be fair enough in 4 years. It'll be fair enough in 8 years. We may not have to address this again for a while. Yes, times are tough. I understand that. But the fact of the matter is, no matter what everybody says, there's never a good time to give a raise to an elected official of any size, whether it be 1% or 20%. It's been through 2 committees. It's been hashed about. It's been talked around. It's time for us to do this, suffer the slings and arrows, and in 2015, the voters can have their say about whether or not we did the right thing or the wrong thing in their mind. And I will fully respect their decision. No argument, no crying. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm rising today, and I'm planning to vote no on this raise. And it's after weighing it for the past several weeks. It has nothing to do with the amount of the raise for Mayor Driscoll. It frankly has nothing to do with Mayor Driscoll. My issue and why I'm voting no is because there is a separate separate ordinance within our municipal code that provides that city councilors would receive 10% of whatever the mayor receives. I was just elected 3.5 months ago. I was just inaugurated 6 weeks ago. I don't believe I can vote for a raise for myself that takes place during this term. That does not mean that that what city councilors do aren't very vital. It is. I respect every single person that's sitting at this table or standing at the podium. One of the things that I ran on was the issue of civility. And, you know, you can agree to disagree about certain issues. I have a distinct feeling that I'm probably going to be the only person who votes no tonight. And that's okay. And I can take slings and arrows just as well, whether they be outside of this body or inside of this body. One of the things, though, that I promised myself when I ran is we can agree to disagree, but I'm going to make sure that I agree not to be disagreeable. I didn't want to stand in the way of having this come before this body and having it voted on, because that's clearly the will of the body. But I just, from my own standpoint, I can't pass my own raise for a job that I've just held for 6 weeks. There is an issue as well as to the effective date. That apparently is not going to come before the body, and that's fine. I respect the will of this body as well. But that doesn't mean that I won't continue to give a good college try into the future for as long as the voters choose to keep me in, and as long as my colleagues continue to speak with me, hopefully. But I do look forward to working with all of you in the days, weeks, and years ahead, and I'm looking forward to the next issue.
Just for the record, right now we are in committee reports. The committee report will come up, and then during the motions, orders, and resolutions, it will come up as Council Torrio will bring it back in as a matter for first passage. So right now we're talking about the committee report. If we want to have the discussion now, that just means, just for the record, the vote we take is going to be after we go back to the regular parliament, just for everyone's clarification. I have Council Siegel, Council Legault, then Council Fury.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to touch on one thing on the effective date. Reviewing the city charter and the city ordinances under Ordinance 17A, any increase or decrease in a salary of the mayor or the city council does not take effect until the following year. Where we're appointed, we start in January. This raise, if it was to pass, it would not begin until January 2015. I've also asked the city solicitor to take a look at that, and she did take a look at it, and she agreed with me. So I just wanted to get that out of the way.
Thank you. Councilor Legault, Council Fury, then Council Torrio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll just be a moment. Somehow along the line, we took the very simple issue, simple as a moot point, of course, of the mayor's pay raise, and we combined it with a couple of other matters. And we've just done that again here, and that's fine. With all due respect to Councilor Epley, who I do respect, and I think he's going to be a great city council over the next couple of years, unless Councilor Epley is willing to say right now definitively that he is not running for another term, no matter how you twist it, he is voting on his own pay raise. You are. There's just no way around that. It's a word game. It's semantics, but it's a fact. So we need to keep this issue separate here. We're voting on the mayor's pay raise. The next issue on the agenda is the separation. We just need to deal with what the matter at hand is. Thank you.
I agree. Council Fury.
Yeah, please, it's time to move on to more serious issues, and then we have before us on the City Council in the City of Salem. And I think we all totally respect Councilor Epley's view on this issue, and he's very articulate and bright on this issue, and very appreciative, and we may disagree respectfully. But 50 years ago, this is the 50th anniversary of the Beatles on Ed Sullivan, and I think we know the song Let It Be by Paul McCartney. I think it's time to let it be and let the raise take place and go on into more serious issues. Thank you.
Move the question, Mr. President.
Hold on, one more. Like I said, I got the big stick up here. Council Torrio.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was just going to say that in the ordinance as drafted, when we get to the ordinances section, this does state that effective January 1st, 2015.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No further question, no further discussion. The
roll call, Mr. President.
No, we're not to that point yet, Council, please. Right now, we're simply dealing with bringing the matter out of committee. So all those in favor of bringing it out of committee, all opposed? Now we'll go back to the regular portion of the meeting.
I move we return to the regular portion.
Thank you, Council Turner. We'll move back to the regular portion. Motions, order, and resolutions. Council Milo.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ordered that the City Council, together with the efforts of the Building and Planning Departments, explore the process of having the portrait of President George Washington moved back to the City Council chambers and the matter be referred to the Committee on Government Services.
Just before we go to this, it's nice to see that another at-large councilor who happens to be a lovely lady is going to bring up the same motion and take up the gauntlet of Councilor Lovely, who brought this motion in every year as far back as I can remember. So, Councilor Milo, go for it. Go ahead.
Thank you. I move for adoption.
Under discussion.
Yes. Well, what I was going to say was, many of you will recognize this order as one that now State Senator Joan Lovely brought in before this body when she sat on this council. And it's my understanding that the portrait, when there were some refurbishments done to the chamber, the portrait was moved out in the hall, and for whatever reason, it never made its way back into the chamber. So I'm hoping that by doing this, putting it in committee, maybe involving some community organizations, we can search for possible grant funds and do what we can. Maybe Senator Lovely can find us some state money, who knows? And we can bring George back to the council.
I appreciate it. Because it used to be right here.
Yeah.
Anyway, on Councilor Miles, so what committee,
Government Services?
On Councilor Miles' recommendation, this matter referred to the Committee on Government Service. All those in favor? All those opposed? Further motions or resolutions? Councilor Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have the correct. City of Salem, the year 2014, ordinance to amend an ordinance relative to compensation for the mayor. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Salem as follows. Section 1, Chapter 2, Division 2, Mayor by deleting Section 2-142A in its entirety and replace it with the following. Section 2, 142, compensation. A, effective January 1, 2015, the mayor shall receive a salary of $120,000 per annum. Section 2, this ordinance shall take effect as provided by city charter.
Under discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. This is simply the ordinance to support what we were just talking about a couple minutes ago. And it has to be done in this particular form and adopted by the city council as any other ordinance would by votes in two consecutive sessions.
So you move for adoption for
So
first passage?
I move for adoption for first passage.
Thank you.
Since this is already passed through both the ordinance, license, legal affairs, and administrative finance committees.
Thank you. Councilor O'Keefe.
So are we going to refer to the Committee on Ordinances, License and Legal
We're
Affairs?
going to do the first one. Move for adoption.
Move for adoption first, okay, then we're going to refer to the committee. No? Oh,
Councilor O'Keefe, since this already came out of ordinance, license, and legal affairs, so the ordinance wouldn't be referred back at that point.
yes, that's that part of the mayor's salary, correct? All right, thank you.
Madam City Clerk, this doesn't require a roll call vote, does it? It does? Madam City Clerk, can you please call the roll as Council Torrio read in the ordinance amending Chapter 2, Division 2, Section 2-142.
Counselor Epley?
No.
Counselor Famico?
Yes.
Counselor Fury?
Yes.
Counselor Gerard?
Yes.
Counselor Legault?
Yes.
Counselor Milo?
Yes.
Counselor O'Keefe?
Yes.
Counselor Siegel?
Yes.
Counselor Terrio?
Yes.
Counselor McCarthy?
Yes. Thank you, Madam City Clerk. On the matter of first passage from the ordinance amending the compensation of the mayor, we have 10 councilors voting, 1 councilor absent. We have 9 in the affirmative, 1 in the negative, 1 absent. The matter carries.
Mr. President,
Councilor O'Keefe.
I move for immediate reconsideration. I hope it will not prevail.
Councilor O'Keefe moves for immediate reconsideration. All those in favor? All those opposed?
Opposed.
Committee reports.
Mr. President?
Councilor O'Keefe.
City Council, February 27, 2014. The Committee on Ordinances, License and Legal Affairs, to whom was referred the matter of granting certain licenses, has considered said matter and would recommend that the following be approved. Secondhand valuables, 24/7 coins, 140 Derby Street, Salem. Tag days for numerous Salem High girls basketball, softball, and track events, Salem Little League, and Salem Swampscott Youth Hockey. We recommend they all be approved by the City Council.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor, all those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, is further discussion, Council?
No.
On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor, all those opposed? Further committee reports. Council Turner.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Committee on Administration, City Council, City of Salem City Council, the Committee on Administration Finance co-posted with the Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of appropriation in the amount of $357,975 from capital outlay renovation repairs to be expended for soil remediation and improvement in Spillane Park, has considered said matter and would recommend adoption.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor, all those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation, Council Turner, on the discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. We had Lynn Duncan in here to discuss this last week in committee to go over it. The plans have changed. There have been public hearings on it. Basically,
they found more, as happens frequently in Salem, whenever you dig a shovel into the ground, they found more contamination than they'd hoped to find. As a result, the plan for Splain Park had to be modified to remediate it. Unfortunately, a dog run that they had hoped to put in there was sacrificed, and in order to keep the cost down to a reasonable level, they are building an on-site containment to contain the contaminated soil as part of this. So it's going to be actually a hill overlooking the left field of the the Little League baseball field they're putting there. So it's going to look kind of like Fenway Park used to, I guess, in a sense. I mean, the hill out there in center field. So hopefully the fence will be located so that kids don't have to run uphill to catch the ball. But so this grant is for additional appropriation beyond what we've already gotten in the state park grant, and appropriate in order to help this project move to completion so that we can go forward for the next round of park improvements. Council Seaver.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to add on to that. First, I'd like to thank Lynn Duncan. I was actually at the Administrative and Finance meeting. I must have hit her with about 10, 12 questions. She did answer all those questions, and I want to thank her for that. Also, this project also needs to be done, I think, by June or July. There's a special date, otherwise we lose the $400,000 that we got before. You know, it's one of those things, we didn't know it was going to be this much money, but once we put the shovel in, so I strongly support it, and I hope the rest of my councilors do.
Any further discussion? Seeing none. On adoption of the recommendation, all those in favor? All those opposed? Further committee reports. Council Turrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. City of Salem City Council, the Committee on Administration Finance co-posted with the City with Committee of the Whole, to whom was referred the matter of an appropriation amount of $84,000 from capital outlay renovation repairs to be expended for the restoration of the town pump fountain, has considered said matter and would recommend adoption.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor, all those opposed, adoption of the recommendation. Under discussion, Council Turrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. At the same meeting, we also had, Lynn also went through the engineering plans for the replacement of the town pump fountain. When this body was looking into the plans for the Essex Street pedestrian mall, I think this was back in late 2012, early 2013, when it was before us as a body. And at the time, they were considering an option that was going to remove that fountain, but popular outcry induced them to save it. So, you know, credit to the community for stepping up to make sure that we kept what to many people was quite a landmark in the city. So what this project entails is restoration of the panels, reconstruction and repair, and then taking the pool that right now is somewhat of a nuisance with between kids and dogs splashing around in it and knuckleheads pouring detergent into it at odd hours and all the damage that it's taken. They're planning to repair it with a system that will be much more reliable, be able to filter out things in the water. It won't be something that people can actually walk in anymore. The pool will be below grade with lighting and a grate over it to help keep it clear, and should get back to good. And they will also increase the amount of pedestrian and seating space around it by shrinking the footprint of the site somewhat. So this is going to really add something to to the character of the entrance to the pedestrian mall. And it's going to really help in our efforts to hopefully draw even more traffic and more pedestrian business into there. So most of the money from this is coming from other grant funds and other project funds that have not been that they can appropriate from. The remainder of this is an appropriation on the city's part.
Mr. President.
Hold on, Council Legault, Council Siegel, and then Council O'Keefe.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for being that quick with your eyes there.
I see the hands going up. I get it.
Councilor O'Keefe can sneak in there quite often, very I just want to add a small correction to what Councilor Toriel just recited. Lynn Duncan did send an email out this week saying that she misspoke and there is no water filtration system in the filter. So we won't be able to filter out these soaps. I'm not quite sure how vulnerable this will be to those various vagabond characters pouring soap into the fountain, but there's no filtration system involved. So thank you.
Council Siegel.
Thank you, Mr. President. I like this project, but I'm a little concerned on a couple issues. We asked Lynn Duncan a ton of questions, and she did get back to us. One was the water filtration system, but the other one had to do with maintenance and what's, when the contractor bills it, what's the guarantee of the work. It's about a year. So if we're going to put this money in, we're putting in a total of, I think, 164, about 250,000, I think it is.
I believe the total project approximately $230,000.
230,000, which 84,000 is coming from the city, and I believe the other 160 was, 100 and whatever, was from grants. I know it's a time-sensitive project, but I like to see us, I like to piggyback on Councilor Go's statement before. We need to figure out how we're going to do maintenance on this. Because if it's only got a one-year guarantee on, you know, the whole fountain, the motor, now we know there's no water filtration system, so if someone does pour bubbles down there, we're going to have issues. And I'd like to address that before we go forward. I'm not saying I don't want, I'm not for this, because I am for this. I think it's going to be very nice. I like the plans, but I think we need to have in place some type of maintenance, and that's just my only suggestion.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Through you, Mr. President, members of the council, probably it's an unfair question to ask Councilor Churchill, but what are we going to do about that terrible-looking fountain we have at the other end of the mall in front of the garage? We're fixing this little small one over here. There's a tablet with a little small pool. But if you go down the other end of the mall in front of the garage, there's this tremendous stepping stop. You jump from one block. I take my grandkids down there, jumping from one block. Used to be water in there. Wasn't any water in a couple of years. So what are we going to do with that monstrosity down here? In Ward 2? For Ward 2?
Councilor Chief, I will speak to that only in the two senses. One, you're correct, that is not in front of me or in front of us as a body, and I know that's something that further restoration, that is something that is on their agenda, but it is not before us at this time, which this is the only time it's before us. The other thing that I'll say to that is last year they did in fact restore that water fountain to operation. Although it hasn't received any significant improvements or maintenance, it is in fact functioning as a fountain again when the water doesn't freeze.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Two things real quick, and I just want to let Councilor O'Keefe know that I love that monstrosity down there. And I know that there are plans and there's talks going on about what we're going to do with that in the future. As possibility exists that it may go away, and if that monstrosity goes away, Councilor O'Keefe, my heart will be broken. But we'll see how we go on that. I am concerned about a maintenance plan, but considering we do have budget hearings coming up, I would be comfortable supporting this tonight and entrusting the members of the Administration and Finance Committee and the Committee of the Whole, which will be invited, to address this with both the Mayor's Office and the Planning Department through the budget process to see what we can do, because it won't take a lot of money. This pump is going to have anywhere from, it's going to have I think it was a 2 to a 5 year lifespan. They're not expensive pumps, and if it's maintained properly, and it doesn't take a lot of money to maintain a pump, quarterly maintenance, twice a year maintenance, you can extend the life of it. So I'd be comfortable passing this tonight and leaving it to the A&F committee to discuss with the planning office and the mayor any maintenance plans that are possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll just, follow up on this slight amount. I had time to read the letter from Lynn about the email from Lynn about Splain Park, but I hadn't had time to do any follow-up on the one with the pump, so I was unaware of the filter issue. The other thing that I will say is I believe that the new design, as we reviewed, will make it somewhat less of an attractive nuisance to people to throw stuff in, because that water is going to be below grade. When you throw the bubbles in like you normally do, you're not going to see them foaming all over the place. So you don't get that immediate visual reward and chuckle of having done something funny, or that you think was funny and just really annoyed most of the city. So, but the maintenance issue is something that we have now raised some concerns with on both Splain Park and on this, and I think we've made it clear in the most recent discussions that we've had on these appropriations with the city in general, and even with the matter that's going to come before us later tonight about the, about the electric poles, or about the street light poles. I think we've made it very clear to the administration that we think maintenance is very much a priority to the city council, and we would like to make sure that those, that we don't want people to be able to say about Salem that we can't have nice things. We have a lot of really nice and wonderful things in this city, and it is our job, it's our responsibility as a city to make sure that they are taken care of correctly.
And, you know, hopefully everybody involved will understand that that's what we mean to try and make sure is done.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Seeing none. On adoption of the recommendation, all is in favor? All is opposed? Further committee reports. Council Thurlow.
Thank you, Mr. President. Committee Administration Finance co-posted with Committee of the Whole to who was referring the matter discussing amending an ordinance relative to council compensation, Chapter 2, Section 271, has considered said matter and gives a negative recommendation.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? On adoption of the recommendation?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm not sure if we discussed we discussed in committee the possibility of changing the timing on the city council's portion of any salary increase, and that did not go forward.
Thank you.
So I guess not having done this, I believe the matter would just be discharged from committee.
Correct. So on the adoption of the recommendation that this matter be discharged from committee, all those in favor? All those opposed? Further committee reports. Council Turner. One last time.
Okay, last one. City Salem City Council, Committee Administration Finance co-posted with Committee of the Whole to whom was referred the matter of an appropriation amount of $200,000 for fund balance free cash to the electrical street lighting account has considered said matter and would recommend adoption.
On acceptance of the report, all those in favor? All those opposed? Adoption of the recommendation. On discussion, Council Turner.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is basically a placeholder move. We are in the process of purchasing the city street lights. There's probably 3,000 of them. From National Grid. These are not the poles that have telephone or cable TV or power lines on them. These are simply the street lights. Mostly the aluminum structures around the city and the poles that are independent. So this is purchasing from National Grid in order to save on ongoing operating costs and the amount that we pay to them. We pay them for maintenance right now, and we've come to the conclusion that we can do it far easier and far better ourselves at a much lower cost. We can also then do things like retrofit them with much lower cost and higher efficiency LED fixtures. So this has been in the works for a couple of years now, and a couple of fiscal years, and we've been building up the department to be able to handle this. In the meantime, this particular matter is a supplemental appropriation for the very short term while they complete their negotiations, and the money will ultimately return to us after the transaction is complete. So basically we're taking the money and taking it from one hand, putting it in the other, and then once the transaction is complete, we wind up taking the money back again because of the transaction date.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Pete.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members of the council. Further technical question to Councilor Chiril. You just said aluminum poles would be the only ones that, didn't you? I misunderstood you then.
No, Councilor Chief, I said primarily the street light, all the independent street light poles throughout the city. So that's all the poles that are, whether they're wood or aluminum. It's not the material, it's just if they are, and this was explained to us by the city electrician, John Giardi, in the committee hearing tonight. Basically, if a pole has, regardless of whether it has a light or not, if it has a phone line on it, it's the property of Verizon. If it has a power line on it, it's the property of National Grid. If it has both on it, it's the property of Verizon. Verizon and National Grid basically control all the poles. This also, at the same time, gives us control of underground conduits that feed this and put them into our ownership as well. But basically, the street lighting, the independent street lighting system, and the conduits that service it are what will be coming into it. And this is something that first went on to, I think we first had this in our budget 2 years ago, some of the process of doing this, and it was expected to have been completed by now, but there are insurance and liability questions that are holding them up in getting it completed.
So in other words, it would, through you, Mr. President, it would include those utility poles that have both phone and Verizon and Comcast.
No.
Well, that's most of my ward. A wooden poles with Comcast, fire alarm, Verizon, and National Grid, and a light.
We are not purchasing those.
Well, how many are we purchasing? Just,
We are purchasing approximately 3,000 poles citywide.
well, where are these
Across the
single,
entire city. I have
single
no idea
standard
what
poles, you're telling me? Single standard poles with just a light on them, you're saying?
Standing poles with just a light on them, whatever.
Well, other than North Street and Bridge Street, where,
I would suggest you talk to.
yeah, Mr. Gerard, but further question. What about those lights that are lighting private parking lots that the city doesn't own? Who's going to buy them? These big, enormous standards.
We
don't own them.
This is, none of
National
these
Grid.
private parking lots are not in this. This is only the pole, the lighting poles.
But suppose there's a street light on that same standard.
These are only the street lighting poles that are on our rights of way and on our streets.
So it doesn't affect, it won't.
Nothing on private property, nothing that has phone and, nothing that has phone.
So National Grid will still fix the poles in my ward that don't.
The remainder of those poles will still be fixed by whoever is responsible for those poles currently. So if it has phone service on it, Verizon will continue to service it. If it has phone and electric, Verizon will continue to service it. And if it has electric only, National Grid will continue to service that.
But if it has electric on it, they're going to service the
Well,
light.
Verizon still is responsible for the pole.
Yeah, but they don't power the light. Light company does.
No, and that's, the point is, they are the actual owner of the pole, so based on however they do this, one would, I'm going to go off on presumption here, not being the city electrician or the city engineer in this regard. I would say that if there's a power issue on the pole, they presumably have a working system already now for resolving these issues. That would not change. Nothing changes there, it's only the ownership of this, so we aren't paying the rental fees for our street lighting system to National Grid anymore, instead we own it.
Thank you.
Councilor Upton, did you have your hand up, or did you put it back down?
I'll put it back down.
Thank you. On adoption of the recommendation, all's in favor, all's opposed? Communications from city officials, none. Petitions.
We have a petition from Kenneth Sawicki to meet with City Council regarding the rule preventing members of the public from speaking before the City Council and the matter of public safety and concerns given the state of economic conditions.
Mr. President, I move that this be referred to the Committee of the Whole for their judgment and recommendation.
That is a veteran move. Councilor O'Keefe's motion that this matter be referred to the Committee of the Whole. Councilor Upton.
Actually, Your Honor, I move to table this petition indefinitely.
No, Mr. President. No, I think a freedom of petition, Counselor, anybody should be able to come to us and speak about these issues, and then we should think about them and then report to the council. I noticed I wasn't on the list that he praised, so I mean, I wouldn't really want him on our committee. Go, the Counselor.
I really appreciate that, thank you. I would be more than willing to do that. Councilor Legault.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are we under discussion on Councilor O'Keefe's motion at this point?
I withdraw my motion.
It goes to him. Let it go to him.
Oh, thank you. Second.
I was just going to do that, thank you, but okay.
Thank you. Any further discussion? No. On Councilor O'Keefe's recommendation, this matter be referred to the Committee of the Whole, seconded by Councilor Torrio. All those in favor? All those opposed? Thank you very much. Further petitions.
We have a request from Sandy Jaquez Gill for a taxi operator hearing on the revocation of his license.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President, members of the City Council, I move that this matter be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs to hold an executive session on this matter.
On Councilor O'Keefe's recommendation, this matter be moved to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs to hold an executive session. All those in favor? All those opposed? Further petitions.
We have a public guide license application.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President, members of the City Council, I move that this be granted.
On Councilor O'Keefe's recommendation, this matter be granted. All those in favor? All those opposed? Further petitions.
We have following license applications, secondhand valuable and a tag day.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President, I move that these petitions be referred to the Committee on Ordinances, Licenses, and Legal Affairs for their recommendation.
On Councilor O'Keefe's recommendation that these matters be referred to the Committee on Licenses and Legal Affairs, all those in favor? All those opposed? Further petitions.
We have 4 claims and 1 subrogated claim.
Council O'Keefe.
I move that those two matters be sent to the Committee on Ordinances, Like and Legal Affairs for their review and return approved.
Council O'Keefe's recommendation, these matters be referred to the Committee on Legislative Legal Affairs. All those in favor? All opposed? Further petitions.
We have one constable bond.
Council O'Keefe.
They received made matter record.
Councilor O'Keefe moves that the
Return approved.
matter be referred to the Committee on Administration Ordinance, Committee on Legislative Legal Affairs and return approved. All those in favor? All those opposed? Unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance relative to Council on Aging Director, Chapter 2, Section 2-593F and 2-836.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. Mayor, I move for second and final passage as amended.
Councilor O'Keefe moves for second and final passage as amended. Any discussion?
None.
Seeing none. All those in favor? All those opposed? Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance creating a new article, Chapter 2, Article 16, Non-Discrimination Policy, Section 2-2055 through 2-2057.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Move for second and final passage as adopted.
Any discussion?
None.
Seeing none. Oh, there's some stuff. Under discussion, Councilor Legault, then Councilor Epler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I apologize to my colleagues. I'm kind of chatty tonight, which is rather unusual. I just feel that I need to speak here. In 1980, my mother moved from Massachusetts to the great state of Arizona and took my 12-year-old brother with her. And they went out there alone in order to make a new life, which they did in a town in northwest Arizona called Kingman, Arizona. My brother went to grammar school out there. He went to high school out there. He graduated high school out there. He enlisted in the United States Army and went through basic training, went through his AIT, and he fought in Operation Desert Storm. He served honorably, he was discharged honorably, and he currently serves as a law enforcement officer out in Nebraska for the National Park Service. My brother is gay. I don't feel that I really should have to stand up and say that, but in this particular case that I do. Him and his spouse live out in Nebraska, and they're very happy. My brother, before he went to work for the Park Service, worked for the Chamber of Commerce in Kingman, Arizona, where he had to have a hearing because a co-worker attempted to have him fired because he was a homosexual. I speak to this because of a certain interview I saw with an Arizona senator who's running for governor out there just the other day. I have nothing against the great state of Arizona, beautiful place, but my brother is my brother, and I love him, and that love extends to his spouse and his entire extended family, and I am proud to stand here tonight and dedicate my vote for this ordinance to my baby brother. Thank you very much.
I want to thank Councilor Legault for those very heartfelt remarks. We spent a lengthy amount of time in the Committee on Ordinances and Licenses and Legal Affairs, and I don't want to restate what was said there. I want to also thank Scott Weisberg from the No Place for Hate Committee for his remarks earlier on this evening. My husband and I moved to Salem 6 years ago, and we felt at home from day one in this city. And you know, it's a city of past, present, and future all at once. And I think it's remarkable that this city that's been around for almost 400 years, in just a few years from now, and that had the terrible Salem witch trials from 1692, that we are now taking ourselves ahead of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts and respecting all persons with dignity coming into our city so that everyone can be respected when they use any public accommodations within this city. So I applaud the mayor for bringing this to the city council. I applaud each and every one of my colleagues, and I frankly I love this this part of my job more than I did a little earlier on this evening. So with that, I certainly hope that we can get this passed on second passage. Thank you.
Councilor Fury, then Councilor Turner.
Mr. President, fellow members, this marks the 50th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, brought by President Johnson, signed by the Attorney General. Robert F. Kennedy was there, and Martin Luther King was there in 1964. We've come a long way since 1964. We have so much to go, so far to go, as commented by Councilor Go about Arizona and the governor of Arizona vetoing that very controversial piece of legislation. We have miles to go before we go to sleep, And thank you, Councilor Epley. Thanks to Councilor Go. And 50 years ago, President Obama will be recognizing that anniversary this week, lo and behold, on 50th anniversary. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll rise very briefly on this just to say that, with what has happened in the news and with what has been under discussion out in the state of Arizona, as Councilor Legault referred to a few minutes ago, and what just almost came very close to transpiring there, despite the dubious legality of such a law, it makes me very, very proud to say that Salem is a city where, rather than trying to think of ways to discriminate further against people for no good reason, we try and find ways to make sure we don't discriminate against people. And it sends a nice message to the rest of the cities and the rest of the towns of this Commonwealth, and the Commonwealth as well as the nation as a whole, saying whatever you do, however you may choose to behave in other places and whatever you want to hold against people, we don't do that here. I think that's a wonderful message that we're sending, and I'm very proud that we're doing so.
Here, here.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Mr. President, members of the City Council, as you probably all know, I have similar relationship with a daughter who lives in Boston with her partner, similar to Councilor Legault. She is loved, our Kathleen is loved by all members of our family, our nieces and nephews, and we love her partner too. And I had a privilege to serve on this chairman of this committee, and I salute the mayor, and I personally salute Christian Hoysrad, who is the mayor's liaison for the lesbian and gay communities, who pushed this in a committee that I serve on. And I see Gene Rocket and the chairman being here, and I see Jeff Cohen there. And it started over there with Christian last fall. And look where we are today. We're the sixth state that has this. 16th, I'm sorry. And I appreciate what he's done. Christian has corrected me. But we love our daughter, and I know that Bill is the same way with his brother, who is a police officer for the National Park Service. And we love our Kathleen, too. One of 9 children.
May I'm not sure if this is in order, but may I request a roll call vote on this vote?
Show of your hands. I'll give the clerk a few seconds, and I would just want to echo every remark that's been said tonight. I think this is one of those times when you kind of smile when you take a vote, so I need to smile today. So, Madam City Clerk, will you call roll, please?
Councilor Epley.
Yes.
Councilor Famico.
Yes.
Councilor Fury.
Yes.
Councilor Gerard.
Yes.
Councilor Legault.
Yes.
Councilor Milo.
Yes.
Councilor O'Keefe.
Yes.
Councilor Siegel.
Yes.
Councilor Turiel.
Yes.
Councilor McCarthy.
Yes. On the matter of second passage of the non-discrimination ordinance, we have 10 members present, 1 member absent. We have 10 in the affirmative, none in the negative. The matter carries. Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance, Chapter 2, Section 2-108, relative to the title of the Chief Administrative Aide to the Mayor and replacing it with Chief of Staff.
Mr. President, Mr. President, members of the council, I move for second and final passage as adopted.
Councilor O'Keefe moves for second and final passage. All in favor? All opposed? Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance, Traffic, Chapter 42, Section 74, tow zone, Peabody Street.
Councilor Turner, will you take this from me, please?
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for adoption for second and final passage.
Thank you, Councilor. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Councilor Arturo, who did that for me, thank you. Moves for adoption, second and final passage. All those in favor? All opposed? Further unfinished business.
We have second passage of an ordinance amending traffic, Chapter 42, Section 49, stop sign, Appleton Street.
Councilor Gerard.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move for second and final passage.
Councilor Gerard moves for second and final passage. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor? All opposed? Council, we all set?
Move for adjourn.
Councilor O'Keefe moves for adjournment. All in favor? All opposed? Stand adjourned.
Oh, my God.